Okay, so today we're diving into some truly inspiring stories.
Yeah, we're taking a look at acts of kindness that really highlight that human connection,
Yeah,
the empathy that goes beyond borders.
I love that. And speaking of going beyond borders, our first stop is Cuba,
Oh, interesting.
where we're going to meet these incredible medical students, the Vidal twins,
Okay.
and they're making headlines for offering free rides in Matanzas.
Free rides.
Yeah, to
What?
people who are stranded at bus stops.
Wow, that's especially impactful given the transportation challenges Cuba is facing right now. It's like they're directly addressing a pressing community need.
Right. And it's not just a random act of kindness either.
Mm.
There's actually another layer to this story.
Okay.
Their father, a well-respected cardiologist, recently faced some health issues,
Oh.
and the community, they really rallied around him with support.
So maybe witnessing that generosity firsthand inspired the twins.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe it's this beautiful example of compassion coming full circle, right?
Yeah, it really makes you think about those ripple effects of kindness.
Absolutely. Imagine you're waiting at a bus stop, feeling frustrated,
Yeah.
and then suddenly these two young guys offer you a ride.
Yeah.
It could totally shift your perspective.
It's not just about the practical help. It's about restoring faith in humanity, right? Reminding us that even when things are tough, people are inherently good.
And you know what? These heartwarming stories aren't isolated incidents either. We also have reports of Havana bus drivers going above and beyond.
Really?
Yeah, there was one who helped an elderly woman who was struggling,
Oh, that's nice.
and another one diverted his entire route to get a woman in labor to the hospital quicker.
It's amazing how these small acts can make such a big difference, right? Like it shows that we all have the capacity to make a positive impact, even in our daily routines.
And here's where it gets really interesting. These stories are emerging just as the world is getting ready for Random Acts of Kindness Week.
Oh, right. That's coming up.
It's happening from February 9th to the 15th.
Perfect timing.
I know. It's incredible to see this global movement gaining traction.
It really is. I mean, you have schools, workplaces, entire communities are preparing to participate. There's even a company in Ireland, they're launching a kindness in the workplace challenge.
That's awesome. So, circling back to those Cuban stories, especially the Vidal twins,
Hmm.
what do you think their story tells us about the potential link between personal hardship and generosity?
That's a good question. I mean, some psychologists believe that experiencing hardship can actually foster greater empathy and generosity.
Yeah.
It's like going through tough times gives you a deeper understanding of others' struggles, making you more inclined to help.
You've been there, so you get it.
Exactly. And that connection seems really strong in the Vidal twins story, their father's illness, the community support, and then their decision to offer those free rides. It's like this thread of compassion connecting it all.
It really is.
It's a fascinating concept. It definitely makes you reflect on your own experiences and motivations for kindness. Have you ever noticed a similar connection in your own life?
Yeah, actually,
A time when maybe witnessing or experiencing hardship prompted you to be more generous?
yeah.
I did love to hear your thoughts on this, actually. Share your stories with us on social media using the hashtag kindness matters, and hashtag AI for the people.
And don't forget to follow at AI for the People to join the community dedicated to spreading positivity and kindness.
Yes, absolutely. Let's use these platforms to amplify these heartwarming stories and inspire others to participate in acts of kindness, no matter how big or small.
Because every act truly makes a difference. Now, before we dive into the global phenomenon of Random Acts of Kindness Week, let's take a moment to think.
Okay.
What small acts of kindness could you do during that week? Or, even better, why wait?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It could be just holding a door open, offering a compliment, or just lending a listening ear. Every act, no matter how small, really contributes to a more positive and compassionate world.
So, as we delve deeper into Random Acts of Kindness Week and its global impact, we invite you to join us in celebrating the power of kindness.
It's going to be fascinating to explore.
It really is.
Yeah. It's fascinating how these individual acts of kindness, like the ones we've been talking about, connect to this bigger trend.
Yeah, like a global movement towards more compassion.
Exactly. And it's not just anecdotal. There's research that actually suggests that acts of kindness have a real impact on both the giver and the receiver.
Oh, really? That's so cool.
Yeah, studies have shown that doing kind things can release endorphins, those feel-good chemicals in the brain, and
Yeah.
that leads to a better mood and just a sense of well-being. It's like they call it the helper's high.
Oh, I've heard of that. So
Yeah,
basically, being kind actually makes you feel better, too.
exactly. It's a win-win situation.
Mm.
And the benefits go even beyond just a temporary mood boost.
Really?
Yeah, some research even suggests that doing kind things regularly can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, even improve heart health.
Wow. I had no idea. It could have such a big physical impact, too.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It makes that whole idea that kindness is contagious even more powerful.
Right. And for the person receiving the kindness, it can make them feel like they belong, increase their happiness, and even inspire them to be more generous themselves. Kind of like that ripple effect we were talking about before.
Exactly. It's like a chain reaction of good vibes.
Exactly. And those Havana bus drivers we talked about, the ones who went out of their way to help,
Yeah.
those actions, even though they seem small, created these really powerful moments of connection.
Yeah, they did.
And it just shows that kindness doesn't have to be this big, grand thing.
Right.
It's often the simple, everyday acts of compassion that make the biggest difference.
I think that's what's so cool about Random Acts of Kindness Week. It encourages us to be more mindful about incorporating these little acts into our daily routines. Like, it's about shifting our perspective and making kindness a habit.
Exactly. And it can be something as simple as smiling at someone, saying a kind word, or offering to help with something small. These gestures might seem small, but they can really make someone's day and even change their whole outlook.
I love that. I'm already thinking of ideas for Random Acts of Kindness Week. Maybe I'll bake some cookies for my neighbors or volunteer at an animal shelter.
Those are great ideas. And remember, it's not about how big the act is, it's about the intention behind it.
That's true. It's about approaching everything with empathy and compassion, looking for those little opportunities to make someone's day a little bit better.
Exactly. It's amazing to see how a global event like Random Acts of Kindness Week can spark so many conversations, encourage so much generosity, and just contribute to a more positive and connected world.
It's like we're all tapping into this shared desire for good, this yearning for connection and compassion in a world that can often feel chaotic and divided.
Right. And it reminds us that we're not alone in that desire. There are so many people and communities and organizations all over the world that are working to promote kindness and make a positive impact.
It's really encouraging to see that even when faced with challenges and hardship, the human spirit is resilient and our capacity for kindness is limitless.
Absolutely. It's definitely something worth celebrating and amplifying and nurturing.
I completely agree. So after all of this, I'm curious, what are your takeaways?
Yeah, what resonated with you the most? What story or insight gave you a new perspective on kindness and its impact?
We would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Share them with us on social media using the hashtag Kindness Matters and hashtag AI for the people.
And remember, even the smallest act of kindness can make a world of difference.
You really can.
So let's all spread kindness generously like confetti and watch it transform lives, including our own.
Hearing all of this makes me think back to a time when it's amazing how one small act can have such a big impact on someone. Sometimes the most unexpected things can create those really meaningful connections.
Yeah, it's like a reminder that we all have that power to make a difference.
Right. And that brings us back to what this whole deep dive has been about, celebrating the power of human kindness. I mean, we've heard heartwarming stories from Cuba. We've explored this whole global movement of Random Acts of Kindness Week. And we've even talked about the science behind why being kind is good for both the giver and the receiver.
It really shows how many different sides there are to kindness, from its impact on individuals to its effects on society as a whole.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, I want to emphasize that this isn't just meant to be a feel-good conversation. It's also a call to action. What really stood out to you today? Was there a story or something we talked about that changed how you think about kindness?
Yeah, we'd love to hear what resonated with you the most. Share your thoughts with us on social media. Use the hashtag Kindness Matters.
Let's keep this conversation going. And remember, even a small gesture can make a huge difference. A smile, a kind word, offering healthy, simple acts can truly brighten someone's day and help create a more compassionate and connected world.
So let's all make a conscious effort to be kind. Let's spread it around like confetti and see how it changes lives, including our own.
Thank you for joining us on this heartwarming journey into the world of kindness. Until next time, stay curious, be compassionate, and keep shining your light.